And I realized that this stage that I created allowed people to be very, very comfortable with their stories, with their trauma, with the things they've been through in their life. And I don't take any credit for the ability for them to share that. But what I do realize that this stage did, it drew people who loved the creator. And so as you took the stage, you were often surrounded by people who truly cared about you. So you always felt comfortable sharing your story. And it was really transformative to me. But in all honesty, the world came to exist out of a place of frustration. I was on a build with some creators. The build came out fantastic. The relationships did not. And I left the relationship feeling as if, as a creator, I wasn't worthy or good enough to be here. Now, many of you do know that I never call myself a builder, even though I do build, only because I'm not passionate about it. But there are so many talented people on here who are passionate about the craft that I don't want to dilute their energy and the time they put towards it with what I do, which is this, right? I like people, I like being immersed in the community, I like one-on-one conversations. I don't necessarily love building, which is why I never call myself a builder because I find it disrespectful for those who actually put the time into their craft to be excellent. But I left feeling a certain way. You know, I'm a creative. I do have an artistic bone, and I left that build feeling unworthy to create anything. And so I started Meta Talks Live, and the way that it looked. And if anyone remembers the original build, it's built in a LED hexagon. It's a pretty unique design. I had never seen it before, and I built it to as almost as if to say, I'm going to show you what I can accomplish. But it became really, really clear after my first episode. If B is B still in the building? I'm not sure if B's still in here. But it became very clear after my first episode that this stage was something a little bit different. And so I wanted to utilize that difference in order to help create an atmosphere of one, peace, because I enjoy peace wherever I can find it, but also to help creators on their journey in this space so people can get to know who they are. When I select my guests for the show, and for all of those that have been selected to be on the show, I want to say that my selection for who I decide is on the show is a very spiritual one because I work a lot by intuition, but I also hear a lot of what the community is going through. And so oftentimes I can hear a conversation from a particular person and realize that that person might be perfect for the next show. I don't have a show where people can invite themselves onto it. This is not what this platform is about. I have other platforms that can do that. But this one really is about finding a creator that I feel is going to connect with the community when the community needs it, which I think aided in some of the show's success. Oftentimes, that may come from somebody that I've known since the beginning, and sometimes it may come from somebody that I met 10 minutes and had a conversation with, and I realized that they would be at the time perfect for the show, and their story will be compelling enough to hopefully get somebody else to have the courage and the confidence to hit the publish button. And that's what the show is all about. I don't pick guests out of arrogance. I don't pick guests out of popularity. I don't pick guests because they're the most popping thing going on in Horizon Worlds, because there's plenty of platforms that can do that very, very well. But this, for me, is about really giving the community what I feel they're needing at the time that it happens. So I apologize for anybody who has wanted to be in the show but has not been selected. It is absolutely not personal, I promise you. It's just the way that I run this show. And again, I have to run this show in a place that brings me peace and I see fit, because this truly is the one platform that I have on here that I'm emotionally connected to, and I treat it like my baby. Not that any of the other platforms that I've either helped or brought to life mean any less to me, but this one here really kept me grounded and kept me immersed in the community, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for anybody that is affected, for anybody who's seen the show, and I don't take any of it for granted. I truly, truly don't. But after 4 seasons, the show's been gone for a year and a half, and I've tried to bring it back a few times, and God kept telling me that it wasn't ready. And He told me by ways of technical difficulties, this one I'm not going to listen to. And he told me that mentally I just wasn't ready to bring back the show because this show needs a certain kind of energy from me. And if I'm not in a great mental space to do it, I'm not going to force it and I'm not going to ram it down anybody's throat and force it to happen because it means that much to me. So after a year and a half, I'm going to give myself some confetti. After a year and a half, the show is back. It is. I'm extremely, extremely humbled, but I'm ready to put on an amazing show, get season five started again, and hopefully reintroduce MetaTalks Live as a place for people to feel peace, because that's what this thing is all about. So with that said, first of all, I want to thank Matt Lowe. So Matt Lowe could not be here today. He had a bit of a family emergency, but when um, I wanted to rebuild the set, I had actually rebuilt season five in primitives already. But then I realized now with Trimesh and how I want this show to remain a staple of the community that I needed to build this world in Trimesh. We attempted one time with another creator. It didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. And Matt Lowe came forth and said he loved the opportunity to build this world for me. Um, so I told him kind of the things I need from our multiple conversations that we had. Matt was a very close friend. He just kind of got me. He understood the assignment. So Jen, that's why it's so red and so dark. So you can blame Matt Lowe for understanding me. But he really understood what I needed from this world: a stage, a place to gather in the back, and that's it, in an intimate setting where people felt comfortable sharing some of the most intimate parts of their lives, essentially with strangers. So big ups to Matt Lowe for delivering a phenomenal world. Again, if anybody needs TriMesh assets or build, I would definitely recommend the Bayo Technologies. Matt Lowe's always done an amazing job with his creativity. So please, 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 if you need to update your worlds, for those of you who are now in the program, definitely reach out and have a conversation. You'll find a lot of the builds that we're building here aren't as expensive as you may think. So I'm almost sure that logos and all the other things, the movement, just to personalize it a little. But I take no credit for the build because it is a Matt Lowe build, and I'm excited to say that I finally have one. Yes, I have a pair of glasses and a pair of shoes. I don't have a Matt Lowe build, but now I do. So thank you. So tonight's show is really just kind of everybody started and where they are, and it truly, truly is amazing. And I want them to share with the community kind of what they. I can't see anybody's name tags, and I don't recognize you in your new avatars. So enter to the left or the right and stand right next to me, and walk up. There you go. All right, Howard 702. What's up, brother?
Yo,
Talk about our relationship. So, one of the things in being in the platform for so long, I've definitely built a few amazing
you cannot
relationships
tell
on
them I
here.
live with you.
All right, we'll keep that a secret. We'll
Okay,
keep that a
okay.
secret.
They can't know that
Um,
yet, but
but
all right.
but I truly do feel part of the community, but I also feel privileged to be able to see how people started and watch their entire journeys. I am a bit of a stalker because as it relates to my business, I want to pay attention to what everything is happening. That includes people and
Close.
trends. So I watch people a lot for sometimes a way for me to just impart some advice as I fly by. So Howard, without question, is probably the hardest working artist in the metaverse. He's probably done more performances, more shows than anybody I can think of. Because I think now you're getting close to 400, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm at
Um,
437 so far.
resilience. His ability to always see the positive, no matter what happened to him, inspired me probably more times than you know. And I'm really, really, truly privileged to call you a friend. Because it's difficult, right? Things don't always work out in our favor, and it's really, really easy to quit. It really is. But I tell you, man, what you've been going through lately has just been absolutely amazing. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and take about 5 or 10 minutes to kind of talk about who you are and what you've done since being on the show. And stage is yours, brother.
It was amazing, man. First off, man, let's get some confetti in there for MetaClean, man. Enjoy this army. This is amazing right now. This love right now is like all from you. Like not even trying to sound like no daddy stuff, but yes, 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 man. Get it back, get it back. This is your boy HT. How it's 702. Let's get tripping like a kid. Untied shoes. You see the vibe and you see the move. But man, yes, man. I call this man right here on side of me. A lot of people they make fun of Yoda and Star Wars, but a lot of people don't understand what the concept with Star Wars. Yoda was a guru, and I call this man my guru. You feel me? A lot of times we need gurus, and again, how he said, I started off this platform as an artist, and I'm still an artist. I got a new album coming out, but not even as that. I started off not knowing anything about this platform, but wanting to be known, if that makes sense. Going to many possibilities that you don't even know about. Are you going to many different types of things to be aware around now because this is all new? But say that to say you have the Howard Hour Live. And just like how you say, man, when you make something from your heart, you don't you don't expect to see the report that it does. And when I say that in a good way, I learned certain stuff from this establishment that we're at right now, Meta Talks. When the first time I was on this stage, man, with MetaClean had me up here, I was actually talking about getting ready to drop my show, the Howard Hour Live, like just getting ready to start. And man, it's one of the greatest things I think that's able to be in the metaverse right now. And I don't even say that in no place of being cocky. I say that in a place of being confident because it helped me, and I've seen how it helps so many others like me. Because we get on this VR as an outlet, folks. We get on this to get away, but also we get on this to still enjoy life. A lot of people don't understand, like when you're really on a platform like this, you're gonna go through heartbreak, you're gonna go through sadness, you're gonna go through happiness, you're gonna go through the emotions of life. And I seen weddings on here, I seen marriages, I seen funerals, I seen the start of great relationships, I seen the breakup of many relationships, but not even as that, I seen the growth of this platform. And I say all that to say I'm so proud to be a part of that growth on this platform because now so many of us are on here to be, we're in the creators program now. We're on here now, able to sit here and capitalize now. We're able to sit here and help start feeding our family, folks. And that's like one of the like biggest things to me to ever see on this platform to put on a headset and now you finally get some cake from it. But not even as that, man. This man right here pushed me to heights that I never thought I would see before. Not many people know, but I had my ribs and stuff like fractured, so I was out of work for a little bit, and all I could do was just be on the headset, and I was on the headset in the dark mode. A lot of people, y'all know me, I'm always positive, but I was in dark days, and a lot of people didn't see that. But one person I could say who really did see that, and I guess it was just in his spirit, this man right here on side of me, MetaClean. This man hit me up, and out of nowhere, like, he was like, "Yo, man, I'm seeing what you do on this platform. I'm seeing what you do. Like, but what do you want to do on here, man? Like, what do you want to do for you?" And man, I told him, man, I thought I was just making a joke. A week later, hey man, I want you to check out this build. I sat there, man, my mouth dropped. If he could see that, he would be sitting there like, yeah, I did that, I did that. But no, man. Besides the birth of my children and my music career, to see the establishment before it was even the Howard Hour was the greatest thing I ever seen, because that was a blank canvas and I already seen that another artist seen the growth to throw paint on here. All he needed me to do now is just add my paintbrush. And we need that at times, folks. We need a guru. We need support. We need with that. Well, I don't think without that push and everything from MetaClean, I don't think the Howard Hour probably would ever came about like in a a faction that it's at now. And I say that in such a good way because this is what the metaverse is about. The metaverse is about organic. We're doing that. We're all in here right now, folks, experiencing this. We're all in the headset right now, all different realms of the world, experiencing this love, this support, this create factor, and just seeing something that was built from nothing to become something so great. And man, like he was talking about, man, we're supposed to do like where we're at now. I don't see like where we're at now. I'm talking about where we're going. And folks, I'm going far with this, and I know so many of y'all are going far with this, man. And I'm saying this like all on camera. I think this man right here on side of me for being the ones to say instead of no, oh man, it's not for you. You can't do this. Hey, why those people keep telling you not doing it? Why you can't do it? Show them you should do it. And man, we need that at times, folks. Live and direct, man. I'm talking to creators, builders, anybody that has a story, because everybody's a somebody. But now from that, man, with the Howard Hour Live, I was able now to go on the road now with the Howard Hour Live. I'm able now to sit here and go to tech conferences and everything and cover content because now I'm labeled as a VR content creator, folks. And like I told you, when I first started on this platform, I started off as an entertainer. So to sit here, man, you don't understand the growth with a flower that is growing. And just because you think that you're a garden, no, 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 you're not a garden. You're a forest. And you see, it still turns out beautiful. And look how great and how much that expands out. But man, I say all that to say, folks, we have to chase dreams. You have to go through stuff to get to those dreams. I don't care how many times you go to sleep without a dream. You're going to wake up with something that could change your life. And I say that, man, because I'm living testimony with that. I got kids that are looking at what I have to do. Again, I say it wouldn't all started if we never had that attention. If I never met this man right here on side of me, and now there's so many individuals, if I never had you around in my circle, I say at times, hey, we probably could be talking somewhere else. You probably be on a subway somewhere else. But man, I was coming to my time, and my time is coming close. I'm not saying my time is coming to an end, but my time on the stage right now, man, is for somebody else. But I say this to all say, chase what you want to do, man, because only you can do it. I'm so tired of everybody saying like, "Oh man, they told me I can't do it. I can't do it." You the only person that you wake up with, and you the only person that you go to sleep with. I'm not talking about if you cuddle with somebody, but no, you gonna wake up with making it to the next day to still show I'm something. And folks, I'm really able to show that on this stage tonight. So I thank y'all, man. I thank you, MetaClean and Novinus, that I thank y'all for being on this platform with me because, hey, we're all able to grow together. And I think that's why we are able to see Meta Talks Live because we all came here together tonight, folks. And that's what this metaverse is really about, the organic tethering of what this is all supposed to be, and that's together. But y'all, thank you, man. Again, this is your boy HT Howard 702. Thank y'all for rocking with me because I rock with you. Much love to you, MetaClean. Yes, yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Howard. Can we get some confetti for Howard? That was amazing, man. Um, Listen, he is now really the connection between VR and some of the amazing creators that are doing. Don Allen in the building, and if you don't know who Don Allen is, rewatch MetaConnect to the person who talked about AI and took the stage with Mark Zuckerberg. He was in the Howard Hour live on in Horizon Worlds on Howard stage for an hour in deep conversation with him, and he's Howard's had him. He's had the writer, one of the writers from the X-Men '97 show that was on, and quite a few people really established in the tech field. So yes, amazing things. Um, I take zero. I take zero credit for any of that stuff. What I can provide is maybe open the doors to show you what opportunities could look like for you for what you bring to the platform, but just to kind of help you and guide you on the way to showcase it to others. All right, so we're going to call somebody up here. I see Second Life Rich came to the front. So, Rich, you want to come to the stage? What's up, brother? How you
Greetings.
doing?
What's up? What's up? Greetings,
All right,
everyone.
so all right, so everybody, this is Second Life Rich. So before you get going, Rich, let me just tell everybody how I met you. So I actually found Rich on YouTube. In
Mm,
my desperation to learn, to be able to learn anything about this platform when it came to building, I stumbled upon his YouTube page with Humai, and I was just like, okay, let me
hmm
pay attention to this guy, see what he's doing, and I was actually blown away. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Rich, but in my head, you were the Bob Ross of VR because the way you explained very complex things in a very calm and mannered way made it really easy for me to engage in your content. Like seriously, I kid you not. You
Appreciate
were the
that.
Bob Ross without the afro. That's who you are to me. Uh, but then, you came into the space. I think you had a relationship with Dunder. And then I saw
hmm
you came into the space, and I was just really intrigued because I hadn't met anybody yet. Because, I was in it for a short amount of time, but I hadn't met anybody from the physical world who was actually doing this. And you
Mm,
were that person, and I thought you'd make a phenomenal guest just to show people how far you can take this thing because you don't have to remain within the four walls of Horizon Worlds. So I'm going to step back. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and talk about some of the things you've done since you've been on the show.
okay. Well, thank you for. I was a guest on in season one, and back then, as Mr. Rupert just pointed out, I was doing a lot of YouTube tutorials, and the platform that I was in back then mostly was Mozilla Hubs. But then Dunder came on to my podcast one day, and he saw my podcast studio, and he was like, "You should bring this over into Alt Space VR." And so that's where I started learning about Unity and learning about Alt Space VR and getting set up over there. Now, I've always been fascinated by Horizon Worlds, the tools that the creators have for collaborating and building together in here. But because of my style of work and my workflow, building in the headset wasn't something that stuck for me. So platforms where I could use Blender and Unity were where I spent most of my time over these years. So going from Alt Space VR to spatial and VR chat, but now that I've been accepted into the Meta Horizon Creator Program, I'm over here now. And so I've got some projects that I'm working on while I'm teaching myself the Horizon API. And I'm looking forward to all the possibilities that's going to unfold by being over here on this platform. Some stuff for developing in Horizon at some point as well. I've already been talking to people about getting that back going. And so, yeah, just excited to kind of see where things go from here.
Man, first of all, let's get some confetti for Rich because does a phenomenal job. So not only now, So because of him, a lot of us in this room have been able to get out of those ugly avatars and get into some really nice ones. Thanks to the stuff that he's been doing. He does create custom avatars for people. So if you're interested in getting a custom avatar for VR chat or probably a bunch of other platforms, I'm sure you can handle.
Hmm.
Reach out. Also, check out the Hellcat, please. He brought his infamous "Who My Hellcat" into Horizon Worlds, and I was in there revving in, stepping on the gas, and blowing flames out the exhaust, and it was absolutely amazing. But listen, man, I appreciate my relationship with Rich because as somebody who was once immersed in technology that became very tech averse after almost 2 decades of inactivity, I struggle with technology, and Rich has always been my go-to to help me along that way. I know I frustrate the hell out of him sometimes with my workflow because sometimes I get too busy for my own good and I just forget to double back and follow up, which is I never want to waste his time, but sometimes because I move around so much. But I do appreciate it. But Rich also was one of the first people that I entrusted the MetaTalks Live brand with, as he helped me bring that platform over into AltSpace. And to my
Hmm.
knowledge, I think metaverse collaboration where
Hmm.
the people in AltSpace were able to come in and watch MetaTalks Live for one of our season finale shows, and it was amazing.
Hmm.
So I
Yes.
encourage people to continue that and do the same, right? The metaverse, we're all in this big space together. Whatever platform we decide to operate on still has a connection to the other platforms. So don't lose sight
Definitely.
of your audience no matter where they are. So,
Definitely.
Rich, anything you want to tell the people that you're working on now or where they can find you?
So you can go check out the Hellcat World. I'm going to be pushing daily updates, but also Lux VR. Iced Out Thursday. We're gonna have Iced Out Thursdays over here. I'm bringing over all the jewelry. I'm bringing over the world, and so that's coming soon as well. But thank you very much, Mr. Rupert. It's been, like I've enjoyed our relationship over these years, and I know that your workflow is a little different than mine, but bro, it's never a problem. Hit me up anytime.
I appreciate you, Rich.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Everybody give Rich some confetti. Just walk off to the side. There you go. Yeah, I consider my workflow a mess flow sometimes because I'm involved in a lot of different things and I don't always manage it appropriately. So I think I see Shay Arts down there. Shay, you want to come to the stage? All right. So for anybody who's been sleeping under a rock, let me tell you who this person is. So I found Shay, and I say found, like I didn't discover you, it's just how I found you. I found Shay by mistake. I think we ran into a world, I don't remember which world, you told me you were an artist, and then I find out that you have a whole art exhibit going on, and you were like, come and see my world. And, and fortunately, sometimes you're in this space and you meet new people, and they say, come and see your world. You don't really have an expectation because you understand they're new and you don't want to be disrespectful to their creativity. Um, until I met Shay, because I went into her Better World Museum um, show that Paige and her were collaborating on, and I walked into this thing with zero expectation and was absolutely blown away. I was like, first of all, who is this person? And why am I just finding out about her? But of course, she turned out to be this phenomenal artist. And how our relationship began is I really wanted her to come on the show to talk about art in the metaverse. And Shay, do you remember what you told me the first time I asked you?
And the second time,
The second
I was like,
time
nah.
and the third time?
Yeah, I was like, no, no. I don't like speaking in front of people.
Yeah, but you know what? I said to her, I was like, I get it, but there's going to be a point in your amazing career that you're going to have to. So why not do it in front of people who care about you? And
Hmm.
eventually, I think when your stars started shining, you realized that that was going to have to be a thing. And then you just said, you know what? Yes, I'm going to do it. And that was actually one of the most amazing shows we've had on the platform. So I'm going to step back. I'm going to let you talk about what you do and kind of what you've done since being on the show.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Shay Arts. I got my headset for my birthday in April 22, the end of April. And MetaTalks is actually one of the first shows, one of the first worlds I went to in Horizons that was actually like a show. I think 504 was the guest because I came in and there were like three instances of MetaTalks. And I'm like, what is MetaTalks? Because it's a lot of people in MetaTalks. And it was 504's show. And at the time when I first came to Horizons, I didn't talk to nobody. I walked around on mute and I checked out Art Worlds and I stayed a lot inside of Lit 22 a lot, and those were like my spots, the Art Worlds and that certain club. And I came. It was actually your show I met you at. I came into MetaClean show and he had like the verified check on his head. That was like a thing he was doing at the time.
That's
And
right.
I had just released my museum, but I didn't know anyone that was part of the Juneteenth. What was it called? The Culture Art Bar Juneteenth event that they
Culture
had.
art art. Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to show, I really wanted my world to be a part of the Juneteenth Culture Bar. And so I came into Meta Talks and was like, how do I get verified? What do I need to do to try to get a part of this art show and whatever? And once he came into the world, he picked out some of his favorite pieces and I put them in. And that was really like my first time really showcasing my worlds. I think my Better Worlds Museum was my second world I had ever made. And when he asked me to be part of the show, when I finally did say yes, I was hella nervous. Like my first like that day waiting for the show to start, I was in build. I went into build mode, and I was in there like 6 hours trying to get out my anxiety. And I built the world Arts I Am right before the show started. So I got through with that world right before it started. I'm sorry if y'all hear noise. I'm in my bestie cutie house, and she's having a ball on her Oculus. But yeah, I built Arts I Am right before the show, and I was so nervous. But like he said, it was people in there that I knew and loved, and that was my first time really doing like public speaking, like with all these eyes on me. I wasn't with it at first. And since then, well, actually, it's funny because I built Arts I Am out of anxiety right before the show, and when I finally published the world, that world led to my first contract here in Horizon Worlds with the outside company, not Meta. It was with Double I Studios, and that was my first time that I realized that actually it wasn't. The first time I realized that people were doing business in this space was when Tone introduced me to was when MetaClean introduced me to Tone, who was like an art curator, and I got some, got some good advice from him, and he was kind of like my mentor, teaching me like how to navigate in the art space. But Arts I Am and that contract was my first time that an outside entity, like anybody, had like really recognized my art and wanted me, to work for them as an independent contractor as an artist. So I worked with Double I for about 6 months, and after then, I had little small private contracts here and there. And, I was part of Women Horizons with Paige. And after doing Meta Talks Live, I got a little bit more comfortable. As you can see, I still don't like speaking in front of people too much. But that was my first stepping stone to really being like comfortable speaking out. And I, went head first into doing community projects. I'm a collab on maybe over 300 worlds now because I feel more at ease helping people get out their vision like I do in IRL than actually just making the world and trying to pull people to it. I don't promote my worlds. I don't host events and nothing like that. I just drop them in and just let it go. So since Meta Talks, I've become a little bit more comfortable with public speaking, more comfortable with putting myself in uncomfortable situations so I can build that fortitude and get used to it so I can promote myself. Since then, I haven't been in Horizons too much. If y'all ain't seen me, I've been in Banter and VR chat. I'm really trying to network with other 3D modelers to get tips, insights, tutoring, and mentoring so I can really expand with my art. And what's wrong, son? Get the phone. And I hold a lot of titles. I'm a business owner. I'm a mother. Here, get the phone. I'm a teacher. But over everything, I'm an artist. At heart, that's what I like to do. I just like to create and sell and build my art. And that's what I've been up to. That's my usual. If doing your own thing was a person, that's what it, that's what it is.
Man, Shay, thank you so much. Listen, Shay is a real artist. Like she doesn't just pretend to be one. But let me tell you a little secret about Shay that a lot of you don't know. Shay is actually one of the most amazing scripters on the platform. And I remember when she started that journey and self-immersed herself for about what, 6 months, Shay? Where you were just on this learning journey, and you learned the IK script, which is the one of the most difficult scripts to learn on this platform because it involves a lot of trigonometry and a lot of unusual movements. So if you've ever seen one of her worlds where she has her dancers performing, understand that that is not a pick and play script. That script is extremely difficult, and she taught herself that script. So in this space, man, we have to give ourselves a lot of credit for the things that we do because you don't always see the work that goes on behind the scenes when somebody becomes successful in their own right. So, Shay, we love you, man. Don't be gone too long because we need you and your art and your energy around this space. So, thank you so much. Let's give some confetti for Shay. Art, amazing, amazing creator. And listen, support her, right? If we really care about these people, support them by supporting their businesses. She has a platform where she sells her artwork in the physical world. So if you want an original piece from a talented artist, go to her website and buy something. Get it shipped to your house, man. Let's show some real support outside of these VR walls. All right, so who is that down there? Is that Jay Vanity? Is that Jay I see standing down there?
Yes.
All right, Jay, come onto the stage. Come onto the stage. Welcome. Now, let me tell you about my relationship with Jay Vanity because this one went a little bit sideways. So, Jay was all over the place doing amazing, not necessarily doing her own creativity, but had an immense amount of talent, and I could tell that from how passionate she was around the fashion industry. But I think sometimes with Jay, and I'm talking about you in front of you, I think sometimes with Jay, she let what other people's opinions get the better of her, and she always reacted to them. And I told her, for your creativity, you need to just focus on you. That is it. So where you were in your creative process, I thought was really, really important because I think you had just kind of figured out that once you stop being reactive to some of the nonsense that goes in here and start putting that energy back into yourself, amazing results can happen, which is exactly where I caught you when I invited you to the show because it was a pretty tumultuous time. There was a lot of turmoil and toxicity going on in here. And I needed to show people that if you focus your energy on your creativity and drink water and mind your own business, you can do amazing things. And I think you were the poster child for that because what you've done in this space has been absolutely amazing. Even not being as active as some of the other creators in here, every time you step forward, it's been a privilege and a pleasure to the community. So I'm going to step back and just let the people know who you are and what you've done since being on Meta Talks Live.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Jay Vanity Upton, the only Upton in the metaverse. And Rupert is right. Like, I was kind of a mess. Not gonna lie, I was a wild card. And then when I encountered Rupert a few years back in one of his spaces, I picked his brain as a mentor. And like as Howard and Shay were saying, like this is someone who pushes the art first before anything else, and that's why I've kind of stuck by Rupert, and I was always asking him questions and stuff, and that pushed me to enlighten my behavior and my professionalism to the finest. So kind of like where I'm at now is like I kind of had a little talk show in the beginning, and then I stopped it, and then I focused on furniture assets before we had the asset library. And Rupert has a few pieces of mine, which I'm very grateful that he owns, because he was showing support, but also showing that no matter how well your gas tank may be empty, there's always room for growth and to refill your gas tank. So I appreciate you, Rupert, for that. From there, I kind of took off and on hiatus. And then when I finally got accepted into the creator program, I started doing some fashion shows in Primitive. And then fast forward now, I'm working on some Trimesh worlds. And Matt Lowe, even though he couldn't be here, he says hello. And he's very thankful that you can finally showcase season 5 in the work. And then from there, I kind of just been networking and owning in all my skill sets. I met like Boss Leo, I met Black Carly, Matt Lowe, who I work with, and then some amazing creators. And I've just been showing my love from there and just really pushing out for not only fashion content, but for immersion and having people feel exclusive and feel appreciated for what their visions are and stuff like that.
Thank you, Jay. Now, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken, I think you were the very first person to have Fashion Week in Horizon Worlds, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I was the first ever one to do it. I know there was other fashion shows, but to the level that I wanted to have a fashion show, I wanted to push myself, and I did 6 stages with about 6 designers and about 30 models, and I had 5 media coverages or 4. So yeah, it was
Uh,
pretty big
yeah,
production.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't even think you scratched the surface of what you're about to bring to this
Oh,
community. I've been paying attention to how much energy you've been putting into the development of your craft. So we are super, super excited to get fashion in here on another level instead of these meta clothes they be giving us. We need some real J Vanity Upton originals. Um,
and that's the
so
thing too, Rupert, is like I've been pushing myself. I got certified in one of my softwares for 3D fashion. So for not only that being said, I can be able to showcase and teach other people who are in the fashion industry to develop and prototype and bring their creations in here so they can have their client on the headset instead of sending the outfit or the garment across seas or whatever. They can just pop on the headset and they can explain what the prototype is.
Man, amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Man, Jay, we appreciate you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say to the crowd before you leave or where they can find you?
You guys can follow me at jvanityupton VR on IG, and I do have a new art gallery and a fashion world coming out soon. So stay tuned in that, and that's gonna be Trimesh. And again, thank you so much, Rupert, for everything that you contributed within this space. Because without you, Rupert, this room full of people in this network would not be here without you. So I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you, sis. It's my pleasure.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. And listen, if you want your own personal brand of clothing up in here, that might be the person to speak to. So I know going to have a conversation because my AR game is terrible. All I can figure out is an M and a whole lot of misspelled words. So please give Jay some confetti. Thank you so much, Jay. Who was that? Is that Divine Intercession? Is that Divine? Come up to the stage, Divine.
Hi.
All right, so this one's gonna be a little different because this one hit differently because um, this may be the reason why the show's format is the way it is. Hello, Divine.
Hey.
So for those that don't know, Divine has acted. I know we be operating two opposite ends of the metaverse at times, but in those beginning
Mhm.
stages, Divine really was like my spiritual mentor. We spent a lot of time just talking, and I was able to get a lot of the frustrations that I didn't always show publicly out, and she always grounded me in a space of spirituality. For those that don't know, Divine
Same.
is an empath. Is that correct? If I'm saying it correctly?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
she does
Mhm.
do spiritual readings, and really has a different perspective on life sometimes when it comes to not only the metaverse but just how we conduct our relationships. And it's always been truly truly appreciated. But how I think Divine show, and I think you was show number 2, if I'm not mistaken, in season 1. How
3.
you changed what I imagined for this platform came from just happenstance. So that show started off in a very disruptive manner. We had a couple of trolls come through and try and disrupt the show, and it got to a point where we actually just had to start the show over again. But during that show, a young lady came in. I think she was maybe 17 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Um, we didn't know her. We didn't know who she was, but she came in and during a question and answer segment, she said, "How do I learn how to trust people?" Because she was a in the foster care program, taking care of her siblings, moving from house to house, and had been sexually abused